Welcome to the Animal Handling module of your volunteer orientation. We are delighted that you have chosen to join the Joplin Humane Society volunteer team. In the upcoming slides, we will discuss proper handling techniques and important considerations for interacting with the animals at the shelter. Consider a scenario in which you travel to a foreign country where you do not speak the language. While exploring, you are unexpectedly seized by strangers and imprisoned, leaving you bewildered and unable to communicate effectively with those around you. This parallels the plight of stray animals arriving at the Joplin Humane Society. Although we do receive owner-surrendered animals that are often socialized, the majority are strays who may have had minimal or no prior human interaction. It is our responsibility to ensure that these animals are as comfortable as possible during their stay with us. Despite our efforts to ensure their comfort, various factors can contribute to stress among the animals. For instance, the kennels can become quite noisy, a level of sound to which many animals are unaccustomed. Stray animals, in particular, are likely to have adapted to living outdoors. Although they do have opportunities to spend time outside at the shelter, the majority of their time is spent indoors. Furthermore, dogs, especially, are creatures of habit and thrive on established routines. When placed in a new routine, they may experience heightened anxiety due to uncertainty about what to expect. All these elements significantly influence the behavior of the animals during their stay with us. It is essential to remember that these are living beings, not machines. Like humans, they experience good days and bad days. Each animal is an individual with a unique history that influences its behavior. Past experiences can shape their responses, and they may be unwell or injured in ways that are not immediately apparent. This underscores the importance of being attentive to an animal's actions, behaviors, and the environment surrounding them. Additionally, certain aspects of our appearance may be unfamiliar to them or may trigger memories of past traumas. For instance, if you are wearing a hat and notice that an animal reacts negatively, such as cowering, growling, or barking, consider removing the hat and observing any changes in the animal's behavior. If the negative response persists, it may be best to move on to another animal. Dogfights, while not commonplace, do occur for various reasons. One primary cause is resource guarding, which is rooted in their instinctual behaviors. Dogs naturally wish to protect their food to ensure future availability. Consequently, we refrain from giving treats to dogs while they are housed together in kennels. However, it is entirely appropriate to separate them for treat time. After spending time in the shelter, the confines of their kennel often become a dog's entire world. When transferring a dog from one kennel to another that already houses a resident dog, it may provoke aggression. The resident dog might perceive the newcomer as a threat to its territory. Therefore, it is essential to return dogs to their original kennels after outings. Dogs can easily become overstimulated in busy, chaotic environments, which can hinder their ability to process overwhelming stimuli. Overstimulation can result in defensive behavior or provoke fights as a means of coping with stress. Similarly, dogs may engage in fighting out of frustration. As creatures of habit, if they are accustomed to a regular activity, such as daily walks, and are unable to participate due to adverse conditions, the accumulated frustration may manifest in aggressive behavior. It is crucial to remember that if a fight does break out, one should never attempt to intervene with direct physical contact. Dogs are unlikely to understand that you are trying to assist, and may inadvertently redirect their aggression towards you. So how do you safely break up a dogfight? Firstly, remain calm. You cannot calm the dogs down if you are not calm yourself. Next, remove yourself from the situation. If you are in a kennel or play yard, exit the area and ensure the gate or door is closed behind you. We want to have a barrier between you and the animals. Calmly but firmly tell the animals, This is the command our dogs learn instead of, no, to signal that they need to stop what they are doing. If this does not work, you can spray the animals with water. When you do this, spray the dogs in the face so they will disengage to take a breath of air. Lastly, notify a staff member if you cannot separate the dogs. Volunteers may use the shelter's intercom system by picking up the nearest phone and pushing the page button on the top right corner of the keypad below the help button to request assistance. Additionally, volunteers may call the numbers listed in the volunteer office for the kennel manager or animal behavior manager if they cannot get to an intercom. Note that a staff member should be notified even if you are successful in breaking up a fight so the animal can be examined for injuries and any behavioral issues can be resolved. Now, let us review the equipment utilized for walking dogs. Staff members commonly use slip leads, which consist of a simple cord or rope with a metal ring at one end. The cord can be threaded through the ring to form a loop that slides over the animal's head. Slip leads are effective for quickly securing an animal that has escaped or for short walks between kennels or rooms. However, they are not suitable for long-distance walks, as the constriction they impose on the neck may induce panic in some dogs, causing them to pull away from the handler. For walking over longer distances, we employ clip leads, typically measuring 5 to 6 feet in length, equipped with a metal clip for easy attachment to a collar. We utilize martingale-style collars, which feature a movable component that allows the collar to loosen when the animal is calm but tightens when the dog becomes active, thereby providing the handler with greater control. Unlike slip leads, martingale collars do not tighten completely, ensuring the animal is not choked. Additionally, we offer various treat bags, including silicone pouches and fanny packs. Treats are essential not only for facilitating the movement of dogs in and out of kennels but also for positively reinforcing good behavior. For instance, dogs that respond to the command, sit, are more likely to be adopted than those that do not. Therefore, if your dog obeys any commands, be sure to reward them. In the absence of a treat bag, you may use a poop bag to carry treats. Lastly, we request that if your dog relieves itself on any paved or gravel surfaces, or in the grassy areas immediately surrounding the building, you promptly pick up after them using a poop bag. Dispose of the waste in the dumpster or one of the trash cans located along the walking trail. These next few slides specifically pertain to getting dogs out of kennels in our big dog areas. Our small dog and puppy areas do not have outside kennel runs, but due to the size of the dogs in those areas, it is typically easier to remove them from their kennels without separating them. Do not be afraid to ask staff for help when removing a small dog from its kennel. For the large dogs, their kennels have an outside run that is separated from the inside portion by a guillotine-style door and metal flap. The first step in getting a dog out of its kennel in a big dog area is to unclip the door release cord from the kennel and allow the guillotine door to close gently. From outside the kennel, say, yes, and reward the dogs for having 4 feet on the floor without barking to introduce yourself. With continued 4 on floor and quiet, say, yes, enter kennel, and offer each dog a treat separately. For door darters, open and close the door until the dogs pause and reward the dogs for waiting. Once the dog is no longer door darting, ask for a sit and reinforce holding the sit when you open the door. Repeat opening and closing the door and reinforcing their choices appropriately until they have mastered remaining seated and offering eye contact while the door is held open. Now enter the kennel. Once inside, ensure that the kennel door is closed behind you. Next, pull down on the door release cord to lift the guillotine door and kick the metal flap. As this flap swings back inside, grab it and rest the guillotine door on the open flap. Get one of the dog's attentions, toss a treat through the open doorway, and close the flap and door as soon as the dog goes outside. This should separate the two animals, with one outside and one inside. Now, exit the kennel, ensuring that the dog inside the kennel keeps 4 feet on the floor while quiet as you open the door. After exiting the kennel, say, free, and toss a treat to the remaining dog to signal that they do not have to keep 4 on the floor. We always remove dogs for walking from the outside kennel. This is because the inside of the building can become busy and cramped with staff, visitors, and other volunteers. Getting a dog out amidst a crowded group of people can be quite difficult. The area surrounding the outside kennel runs, known as the courtyard, is fully fenced so your dog will be contained if it escapes. It is important to remember to ensure that the door or gate is closed when you exit the courtyard, so that any loose dogs will remain contained. Enter the outside kennel just as you did inside, where the dog has 4 feet on the floor, is not barking, and is not actively trying to dart out of the kennel. Enter the kennel, and attach a clip leash to the dog's martingale collar. Note: all dogs should have collars already while in the kennel. If they do not have a collar, extra martingale collars can be found in the volunteer office. Always offer a treat when putting on any equipment, leash. You are now ready for your walk. Once the dog is holding sit with the door open, say, free, when the dog looks at you, then walk out together. For newer dogs, once the door is partially or fully open while the dog stands and waits, you may say, free, when the dog looks at you, and then you can walk out of the kennel together. The dog should perform the same routine when exiting the building for a walk. We recommend a minimum of 20 minutes for your walk, as this is about the length of their short-term memory and the point at which their stress levels start to decrease. Once your walk is complete, it is time to return the animal to its kennel. Just as we always remove the dog from the outside kennel, we also always return it to the outside kennel. If you are walking dogs with another volunteer, 2 dogs can be walked together from the same kennel. However, only put up 1 dog at a time, as getting both animals contained again will not be easy. After you have entered the kennel, ensure that the door is latched and remove the leash. If the dog is holding a sit and is not attempting to dart out of the kennel, exit the kennel carefully, opening the door just enough to squeeze through from the side, blocking the exit with your leg. Once outside the kennel, if the dog has 4 on the floor, say free and toss a treat to the dog as you leave. Return to the inside kennel run and pull down on the door release cord, raising the guillotine door. Call the dog inside. Once inside, if this is the last dog to be put up in the run, attach the door release cord to the front of the kennel. If there is another dog to return the run, allow the guillotine door to close gently and repeat steps 1 to 7 until everyone is inside.
Where we go from here? Where we go from here? Where we go from here?
The Joplin Humane Society is so excited to be able to bring the same techniques used by dogs playing for life to our own playgroup program. So, what are dog playgroups? They are managed groups of several dogs playing together in a single yard. In this setting, they can engage in natural social behaviors that they would not be able to otherwise. This is an excellent form of enrichment that is more effective at reducing stress than walking the dogs on a leash. It also allows us to assess the dog's overall mental health so we can match them with the right home. We need your help to make everyday playgroups a reality. Playgroup helpers are dedicated volunteers who will reliably show up at designated times to leash dogs in their kennels, walk them to the play yards, and return tired dogs to their kennels as directed by the playgroup lead. If you are interested in joining the playgroup helper team, contact the Animal Behavior Manager Thomas J. While dogs are naturally pack animals, cats are solitary creatures. When a group of cats is encountered in the wild, it is generally around a food source. Once this food source is depleted, they will scatter and go about their day on their own. Although large dogs are at the top of the food chain, cats sit in the middle. They prey on other animals but are also preyed on themselves. They may view us as a threat to them. It is never a good idea to suddenly wake a sleeping cat, but keep in mind that even though it appears as though a cat is sleeping, it may still be conscious. Look for these warning signs when interacting with the cats: hissing, growling, spitting, arched back, ears flattened to the back or to the side, pupils dilated, or hair raised on the back and tail. If you see any of these, it is best to leave the animal alone. Before interacting with a cat, stop and observe its body language for any warning signs mentioned in the previous slide. If you are unsure about the animal's behavior or it appears to be sleeping, use a cat wand to pet the animal through the bars of its kennel gently. If the cat's body is loose and it appears friendly, proceed with the interaction. If not, move on to the next cat. Volunteers are permitted to enter the 6 rooms located in the cat adoption area, as well as the 7th room located in the lobby, known as the Dr. Seuss room. Just be mindful of any signs on the doors indicating that the cats inside may be on medication or recovering from an illness. These cats cannot be interacted with to avoid cross-contamination. Cats can be removed from a condo or room and taken to a greeting room. When not in a room or condo, Cats must be in a carrier to avoid the cat escaping and potentially injuring the handler. In conclusion, keep the following in mind: never attempt to break up an animal fight using direct physical contact. Create barriers, make loud noises, spray the animals with water, and if all else fails, notify a staff member. If you feel uncomfortable interacting with an animal, do not. We want all volunteers to be safe and have fun, and we do not want you to get hurt. Notify the volunteer coordinator or a member of management immediately if you receive a bite or scratch from an animal, especially if it breaks the skin. We may have to place the animal on a medical quarantine. This does not mean anything bad will happen to the animal, we just need to ensure that nothing will pass from the animal to you. That being said, all animals you will be handling are fully vaccinated. We also need to be notified if you observe any animals fighting. Mixing and matching the animals is a delicate procedure, and they do not always get along in a kennel. If the animals are fighting, we need to know about it so that we can resolve the issue.